Здравейте! В новия епизод на Small Talk ще ви срещнем с истинска музикална легенда. Lennart Östlund е звукорежисьор, продуцент и микс инженер в култовото Polar Studio, основано от ABBA. Там работи от самото му откриване до закриването, цели 44 години. Той е човека записал последния албум на Led Zeppelin. Работил е с 𝐋𝐤𝐵, с Тина Търнър, с Rammstein, с музиканти от всякакъв калибър. А днес е в България. Защо? Хайде да разберем. A lot of things about ABBA, but now I want to ask you to tell me something more about your work with them. And it's so interesting that you together recorded the first digitally recorded album. Tell me more about the Visitors and these recordings.
Recording an ABBA digital album,
Yes.
It's not quite true.
Really? I read that this is the first mainstream digitally recorded album. Or it's not true?
It's not true. 𝐋𝐤𝐜 made the first, I think, the commercial digital thing. The thing is that we heard about it. And when a new invention is on the market, everyone is afraid of it, talking bad about it.
Yes.
But we thought, first, there were 8 more channels to record on, which was a big thing when you were arranging and could do more of the things. So we really would like to have to the studio. It was so expensive. So we went to New York to see the machines.
Yes.
And we asked the engineer at the Studio 54 in New York, is it good? And he just said it was very good. For the first, an analog machine has a warm sound, but it's not the sound when you in the control room and listen to what they are playing, and then you record an analog, it's not the same sound coming out. In a good way and a bad way. The digital was exactly the same.
Yes.
So it was at the beginning quite a hard sound. But we weren't allowed to buy them at first.
Why?
We couldn't buy the machines because 3M, located in Minnesota in America, said, you Swedes are too dumb technology to have this, and we will get a bad reputation. They didn't know that Leif Moses was a mastermind engineering. So first we couldn't get it, and we said, we can pay for it. It's ABBA, it's going to record on it. Yeah, but no. So we met the Swedish department, 3M, and talked to them. And they sent a guy to Minnesota to educate on the machines. And then to Sweden came Ron Ensminger from 3M, one of the engineers there, and the Swedish guy, and then we could have the machines. But that was on the last ABBA album. I think it's 4 songs from that album.
Not the whole one?
Not the whole one. The chess concert with Björn and Benny is recorded total on that one. But I remember it was not all the songs.
Yes.
And it was the first in Sweden that was recorded. And then we recorded on all artists on those one. And today I think there are no machines left. So it's a treasure.
Yes.
But this treasure, I can tell you a story about Dancing Queen.
Yes, thank you.
Dancing Queen is one of my favorite songs for ABBA as a mix. And in the mid-80s, there was a fashion with a disco. You sent to DJs for remix, the multi-track copy of the song, so that he could do a remix with the kick drum going on 4 bars, up in the face like this, in a bad way. But at that time, we got the 24 track. So in the studio, this was before I was employed at the studio. They recorded earlier. And I put the tape on. I was curious, though it was so good mix. What does it sound like? And I couldn't even get close to how it sounded, the mix. So I asked Mike Treto, what did you do with this one? At that time, we hadn't any computers when you mixed. You had 3 persons, and you say, for example, you take care of the choirs, you take the guitars, you take the effects, you can take the lead song, and you sit there with adrenaline and mix. And do it over and over, and you learn the song. Go away with this one, and try this one, and up with this one, put on the bass, and you do like a live version like this. Mm-hmm. And Michael said it took days, and then suddenly we had it, and we never got back to it. So it was one take, it was the magic take.
Yes.
And then we made this copy of this and sent to England, and there was this disco thing. Now referring to the digital machine. When we closed down the big studio at 𝐋𝐤𝐜𝐚𝐫𝐭 in Stockholm, I asked Benny, do we want to buy the machines, the 3M machine, because there are so few in the world. To me, they can burn, was the answer. And I relate that answer to that I don't think he liked the versions of Dancing Queen. Keep the art as it was made. Don't repaint something because a fashion appears. If the paintings would be done 1938 in Germany, all the paintings should have a little moustache for that. Don't do that. Keep the art as it is. So there are very few, if there are any machines left. And I agree, don't redo the things, multi-track channels. Keep the art as it was meant to be.
That was my next question. What do you think technology changed in music?
What have changed?
Yes, what have changed in music?
Today it's more lounge music. It's not so detailed. Mm-hmm. And it has changed because of the surrounding, whatever happens in cinema, papers, media, iPhones, that has changed how you listen to music. At that time, you could do new things, surprises in the music. Mm-hmm. Today, a surprise is, do I have to listen?
Yes.
And you listen, watch YouTube for 30 seconds, and then to the right you can see which one should I do? This might be better, and you listen to 30 seconds. So the deep meaning, the thing like an album, I hope the album will come back, because the things change in waves.
Yes.
They are so out and then suddenly are so back again. I hope the album, because an album has a meaning. They have something called album music. That would be the song, if you listen to an album for 5 times, you think, oh, that song is good. You have to learn the song. And it's a surprise and thing. Today, it's more like a hit.
Yes.
Without surprises, mainstream, with a kick drum or drums quite boring, and a song that you heard before, in a way, both with lyrics and melodies, and like background music. That's a big change. But it's going to change again. We had a big change in the world. First we have the multi-track that changed the thing, how you can arrange music. Before, musicians came to the studio and you had a couple of days, and it was arranged before you came to the studio and they played it. Then we had the multi-track. You can have 20 synthesizers, you can overdub voices, you can have 12 clarinets, you can have whatever.
A lot of opportunities.
Yeah. And then there happened something. In Sweden, we had a guy called Dennis Pop. Have you heard about him?
Dennis Pop?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now let me tell you about Dennis Pop. He was a DJ, and he produced artist. He had Backstreet Boys, he had Britney Spears, he had Dr. Alban, he had E-Type, he had a big thing. And at that time, people said, a disc jockey with a computer, good luck. He changed the world again.
Yes.
And one of the songwriters that he worked with together, you probably know him then, Max Martin.
Yes.
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 Yes, they were close. Dennis Pop died, so Max Martin continued.
Yes.
But to me, Dennis Pop was the guy who changed the world, not Max Martin. Max Martin was the songwriter, very good and very nice. Both were common people. And the next thing that I think is going to happen that will change that much, AI.
AI. Yes, I want to ask you, what do you think about AI in music?
Good and
People
bad.
are afraid of, a lot of people and a lot of musicians are afraid of it.
The bad musicians should be afraid. The bad composers should be afraid. The good ones, with good ideas, have nothing to fear. But there was one thing with that. I think AI music is going to be produced. And the music will be a fashion for radio, for TV, for movies, because it's a thing. But I think you will learn how the AI music will sound, because it's oftenly, at the beginning, it will be copies of something already done. So do something that is not a copy. And the bad songwriters, like if you listen to the Melody Festival, is called Eurovision, it's called Melody Festival in Sweden.
Yes.
They have everything except melodies. And I think the AI can do melodies better. And the winners will be the guy who listen and say, I want a rock and roll song, it should be about love or something. And the AI, listen to this. No, give me another. Listen to this. And if it's 100, the guy who can pick number 87, the hit,
Yes.
then it's hard to beat that as another composer. The guy with the good ear, Dennis Pop, the disc jockey, he had the good ear with the computer. He heard, this is good. Ace of Base was one of his groups also. He heard, no one else said that this is a good group, this is going to be great. And the guy who works with AI in a good way, that was just one example, because you can't predict what it's going to be next success, but I think it's connected with the AI.
You're a musician too. You had bands. You have bands now too.
West of Mars, I don't know if you've seen the videos.
Some of them, yes.
There are 40 videos.
Not all of them, but some of them are.
There are 40 videos, and the project I'm working on now is going to be, it's meant to be a theatrical thing, theatrical musical, but it could also be a gig with a whole band, and it can also be a gig with a small band, and it can also be videos, and it can also be an album. So I try to be there when you do it. And the things that you probably heard now is the 5 magical gemstones.
Yes.
And that is a concert. And that concert is 1 minute song. It's just 1 minute song. And the idea appeared when I noticed that people don't look at the whole video today. They look for 30 seconds. So I do a whole video. But there was a band at Residence, I think. They had an album with just 1 minute song. So I have a story. And there are different people singing in this story, and it's 26 songs for the moment, and it's 1 minute, it's a bit longer, 1 minute and 20 seconds sometimes, and then it's a storyteller telling about the next, what it is, talking for 1 minute, and then it's a song, and then it's 1 minute, so together it's almost an hour, and I would like to have a performance with this. And the speaker is a Broadway star called Fred Johansson. Played with Glenn Close. He did Pontius Pilatus 1,000 times. He's from Sweden. He was doing Moulin Rouge for 5 months in Sweden now. He lives in England where he did Aladdin. He's the guy who's going to be the storyteller. And what I want with this is to perform at least one time with the act. And it should be an album. And it's a video to every song.
Yes. It sounds so interesting and so modern. You changed with. I see how you personally change as music scene and technology change.
Yeah.
You change your projects, your mind, your
I
everything.
think
You adapt to the new.
Yeah, and one thing that I have in my mind, the AI wouldn't think of this.
Yes.
So I do it in another way. The first videos we did for the musical was just like a comic book. And this one is like a theater. And what I want to do, I would like to meet people here, and then people in Romania or Poland, in England, in Canada, with a connection. I would like to have, because you can have culture money from government to start with, to have a connection. For example, if we could have it in Bulgaria, a theater, and 3 or 5 people from Bulgaria, 3 or 5 people from Sweden, and then rehearse and have it on stage and do some concerts. That's the idea I have.
Yes, it sounds very interesting. Have you ever used your skills as a musician? I understand that you play guitar, bass, and a lot of things. You're a multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah.
Okay, do you ever used your skills while other artists recorded and you work as a sound engineer, sound director? Do you help other artists with your skills in the studio?
When I produce, I play a lot.
Can you give me an example for which artist?
And I've changed for some people that I can't mention, guitarists. That wasn't too good.
Yes, I understand.
And one thing, when I started to learn to play percussion, because when I started at the studio, you weren't allowed, I'm not a musician. You have this union with musicians, and I can't play the shakers or tambourines or percussion at all, jumping over there. So I heard when there was something missing. When everyone went home, I went into the studio, started the recorder, and played the percussion. Then I had to play from the beginning to the end without any failures. So in a couple of years, I was quite a good percussionist. I play, it doesn't say on the album, On and On, ABBA. I'm one of the tambourines there.
Really?
Yeah.
It's okay, it's really great.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you do for living now, except your band? That's my last question.
It's not money in that.
Yeah, okay.
I retired 9 years ago, and I'm doing what I want.
You're a happy man now.
And people have asked me to record. They can't understand why I don't want to record.
Why? Why you don't want to record?
If you compare to do something yourself, with yourself, it's up to me, and I'm the judge. I can do everything. To work with someone else is to help them create their dream, and they decide what I should do. You can say that all the years I've been a kind of a slave in the studio. It's work, and I have to listen. Is that okay? Was that take good? Is this the right tempo? Is it in tune? Can we do this better? All the time you sit like this for another guy. And it takes a lot of energy. It doesn't take that much energy in your things you do yourself. And you can decide, is it good or bad? Or should we do it again?
Yes, I understand you.
And a thing with working with people in the studio, they have some kind of, they are fair for the release. So they focus on details. and focus on details that doesn't matter. It wouldn't do. We have to do this again. Why? The hi-hat in bar 76 is too loud. No one will hear that. I will hear it every time it comes. They are so artists, and they are nervous. And is it this that is going to stop my hit? Yes. There's one thing, a rule. The only thing that counts is the song.
Yes, and the whole song, the whole sound. Maybe.
No, the song.
The song.
Because if I hear, before we had demos, and you can listen to a demo, and you hear song number 3 is the best song. You go into the studio, and you do production. The number 5 is great, and in the end, 3 months after the release, it's still number 3. That is the song. Yes. You will not hear again. And people ask me sometimes what I think about recordings or mixes I've done. I never listen to things I've done. We have a Swedish artist called Eva Dahlgren made an album in Sweden that sold 1 million copies, and it was the 30th anniversary this year, and they took me to the studio and they wanted to talk about the songs. Yes. And I explained to them, I never listened to things. I haven't heard this album in 30 years, and they wanted me to talk about the songs. I still remember, but when you work, you just work with a kind of negative energy, trying to get it better. Yes. It's not like going to a concert. You never sit back and listen, well, this is great. And you get, when you listen to it, you get in the same mood when I listen to the song.
The emotions were different.
Yeah.
Thank you. Really, thank you for this conversation. It was a pleasure.
Have you started? You just started. Yeah. Where are the 3 different questions you told me?
Oh, you didn't find them. I don't know. I hoped that you'll find some interesting questions, but all of your answers were interesting for me. Yeah. And you're an interesting person, really, with interesting life, because of music. Maybe difficult, but interesting.
Do you know, voluntary, I haven't put on an album on this side of year 2000. I don't listen to music.
From
my own music when I produce it, and I say voluntary. I hear music. Yes. I know what's going on. I hear sounds, but I wouldn't say, oh, it would be nice with a song now.
You didn't sit and listen to music?
Not voluntary. If I go to a restaurant, I hope it's without music.
Why?
Imagine yourself alive from when you are 20 years old and you get to be 50 years old, and every day from morning to night listen to music. All kinds of music, working. I haven't had a really holiday in my whole life. It has been because I worked a lot, I can go away. You work all the time, day and night, music, 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 music. At the end, quietness is,
but
silence is what you dream about.
Yes. I hope you won't say that you hate music, but only you're tired from music. I don't know. What's your...
No, I can tell you, I know what's good. I think I can pick a hit when it was, this is good music and that's bad, but I don't want it. Yes. I've done it. Yes. And people think I would like to, because I really know how to record. So that is what I want to do. I've been doing the whole life. Yes. But I like to write music and the stories, and I like to do videos.
What is silence for you now?
Silence is not just silence, because there are noise everywhere. Silence is that I don't have to listen and learn music, other music. I hear when a good song appears. But it was a long time ago, though, if you compare it with the music. It was done in the 70s, 80s, 90s. It was filled with surprises, ideas, new things. And I'm a bit tired of that, looking for new things. And maybe if the music should have been better. I can tell you a story about today. Nile Rodgers get the Polar Prize. He recorded "Let's Dance" with David Bowie.
Yes.
Like a Virgin with Madonna.
Yes.
Daft Punk.
Yes.
And their own hits also. We Are Family, and Freak Out, and things. They came to the studio year 2003, to the studio and recorded. Richard Hilton, the keyboard player, said to me, "You must come to the concert." And I think, concert, boring concert again. Well, but they were my customers. They come from America. I should go there, so I go there and listen. And it was so good, so I got to fill pops.
Really?
And it was so good that when they introduced the band, they just didn't do 5 seconds. They played, so you couldn't stand still. I laughed 2 times. It was so good that I laughed. And then I noticed that probably it's not me that has something wrong with me. It's wrong with the rest of the music.
Maybe yes.
It maybe is. It maybe is. So that answers.
And maybe there is so much music now that...
No. And we played quite recently in Stockholm and in southern Sweden with our band, and I refused to have backing tracks. There was, I think we were 5 or 6 or 7 acts. 2 of the acts, we and Marie Bergman was the name, we played without backing tracks. Rest of them have backing tracks. And to me, it's like a kind of karaoke on a holiday trip.
Yes, maybe.
You can't reach, you can't feel it. You're not communicating with the audience.
The public, the audience can't feel it too.
So I should never say never. Maybe there will be a new wave of kind of music artist or something that make me interested again.
I hope so, really.
Yes.
I hope so. Thank you. Really, you're so interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you.